Hi, how are you? This is Sunday, your online travel boss. Give me just a minute and let me invite some people, and we are going to get started with this week's episode of 5 reasons why you want to become a travel agent and launch your travel agency. Okay, give me just a minute. Welcome to the group. I'm super excited to have you inside of the group. I'm super excited if you're watching on my page, the Business Jump Off for Travel Lovers. I'm super excited to have you here as well. So let me tell you a little bit about myself because for some of you, this is the first time that you have met me and are getting to know me. My name is Sunday Gardner. I am your online travel boss. I love all things travel. I have my own travel company called Sugar Travel Company. I am also a business coach where I teach new entrepreneurs how to launch their own travel agency with the right foundation. So we focus on not just launching or getting the superpower, but actually launching a viable business. So today I come to you with, and my intention is for the next several weeks is to come to you live every Wednesday afternoon. And let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you may be concerned about as a new entrepreneur and as an existing entrepreneur. But today's topic, we're going to talk about 5 of the reasons why I love being a travel agent and why you may like being a travel agent and reasons for you to decide to jump and start your own travel business. So what I want to first start off by saying is that being a travel agent and having a travel business is not one and the same thing. Most people think that because they have the superpower, and let's say they've joined with a host agency, and they are now have the ability to book travel all over the world, right? You have this amazing superpower that does not necessarily make you a business owner. Oftentimes, when you are with a host agency, depending on which host agency you go with, you are an independent contractor of that agency, and it is up to you to create a business. And so, in I think next week's topic, we're going to be talking about really the difference between being an agent and an entrepreneur. So I won't steal any of the thunder from that conversation this week. But this week, we're going to talk about what it's like to be a travel agent and why I am just so super excited about it. And then some reasons why or ways that you can actually jump and actually start a viable, profitable business. Because ultimately, if you want to go in business for yourself, you want it to be viable, right? You want it to be profitable and you want it to be successful. So we'll talk about some of those things today. So this is going to be short and sweet. If you do join me live, please announce because I do not want you to miss the opportunity to get an opportunity to win a Las Vegas voucher, vacation stay voucher. So you have to let me know that you're here so that I can actually look you up and give you the information after the live. So you actually need to either in replay, put hashtag replay, say hello. If you're on live, you need to say hi. So actually, it's not going to be for the replayers. I only said people who join me live get the opportunity to get the voucher. So if you're live, let me know that you're here and just say shout out. All right. So number one reason why. So I'm not going to do these in this is chronological importance order. I'm just talking about 5 of the reasons why I love it because I think all of them have the same amount of weight. Hello, Jennifer Hicks. Nice to see you. Nice to have you on. So I will tag you later after the thing and get you your voucher. All right. So my number one reason that I wrote down for hi, Mishki. Hopefully I said your name right. How are you? Nice to have you live with me. Okay, my number one reason is, of course, the reason to be a travel agent is because I get to travel, right? Not only do I get to travel, I get to meet people and I get to have experiences. I have been a travel lover since, we grew up very poor, so we didn't get to travel as a kid, with my parents. So I didn't really get the travel bug until college. So if you've ever watched any of my videos, I always talk about how travel hit me in college. And so I competed in college as a debater. And so we went to different colleges across the country competing, arguing. That's what I do. People who know me, they're like, oh, you used to argue. I can totally see that. But I used to compete and we would go all to different colleges across the United States and compete. And that's when the travel bug hit me. I was like, because I never got to see different people. I grew up in San Antonio, and I got to see different people. I got to see different kids my age, got to see different towns and different experiences. And so that travel bug stuck with me. I took my first flight as an adult when I was in college. I'll never forget. I cried. I was so petrified. I flew as a child, but it was so many years between my one flight as a child and as an adult in college. So anyway, I flew as an adult, and I cried. I was so scared when we took off. Like, I just thought I was going to die. But that travel bug has stuck with me. And so to be able to do it as a business and to be able to meet people and to not only bring experiences to them, I get to continue doing it on a personal level. When I graduated college, I actually got the opportunity I don't know if that was an opportunity, but part of my job was traveling. I did not like work travel. I can tell you that much. So I traveled every week. I traveled 5 days a week, came home on Friday, and flew out on Sunday or Monday. And that life sucks. So I do not like business travel. I love personal travel. And as a travel entrepreneur, I get to do it as business and as personal. So it's sort of the best of both worlds. So being a travel agent, I get the opportunity not only to travel, but I get to travel on discount, right? And it's really not even discount. It's like, you can't, if you're not an agent now, or you've never experienced travel as an agent, it's like no other, because the amount of benefit that you can get from traveling as an agent is like no other. Like, it's not like just getting, really great cheap airfare, which is also really pretty exciting, but it's just different traveling as an agent and being able to immerse yourself behind the scenes of a travel supplier and being able to get that sort of behind the scenes experience, and then also the rates that they offer you as a travel agent. So that's my sort of number one. That was like the first thing I wrote down when I wrote down my list. So I was like, being able to meet people, and then not only meet people and then give them experiences, is like no other. So I love this industry. Just this year, I married my personal superpower, which is coaching and marketing with travel. So not only do I get to be a travel agent, I'm also a coach, and I get to allow people who want to start their businesses in travel. So it's like the perfect marriage of the two of my loves, which is coaching and marketing and travel. So we've married the two of those this year, and we've created a new program that I'll talk about a little bit later. All right, so that's number one. Number two is it's fun and it's not boring. Like, if you can hear the excitement in my voice, that is sort of how I feel when I put together packages, when I'm talking about my packages. It's just funny. I was talking yesterday, it was a couple of days ago, I was talking to one of my friends, and I put together this cruise package for my friends and family. I mean, I've offered it out to sort of a soft general public, but it's mostly for friends and family, because there's so many friends and family that I haven't seen. So anyway, I was telling one of my friends about it. And, I wrote this post and I told them all about it. And I was like, listen, when I post all my pictures next year and you're not in the pictures, I don't want to hear any crap from you, right? And so he was talking to me, and he was like, yeah, I saw that, but I didn't really, he goes, it sounds totally like something you would say. And then we started talking about the thing. And the excitement that I have in my voice today is the excitement that I have in my voice all the time when I'm talking about travel, when I'm talking about my business, or when I'm talking about coaching, because it's fun. Like, there is nothing like not, I've actually, so you have to excuse me, like, my nose is running a little bit. I don't think I have any tissue. I hope I don't have to, I don't know if there's like something flying around it. Okay, so sorry. Anyway, it's fun. Travel is fun, and it's not boring. Like, every package is a new experience. Every customer I work with is a new experience. Everything, like, I've got a group of travel agents that I'm working with right now, and we're working on putting together the Essence Festival for 2019. And that has been fun. Like, I just finished the sales page, and getting that look out is fun. So every sort of mini project, either if it's a group package that I'm putting together, or if I'm working with the client one-on-one, or if I'm working with the travel agencies, it's just not boring. It's not a boring industry. There is so much to this industry that if you get tired, like my specialty is luxury cruises. If I get tired of luxury cruises, I can totally scrap that and pick up something else and totally do something else. I doubt I'll scrap cruises because I love personally cruising, and there is so many different suppliers in just that genre that I'm going to probably not get tired anytime soon with just that particular part of the industry. So my number two is that it's fun and boring because I have undiagnosed ADHD. I don't know if any of you are like that, but I really get bored easily, right? So if a particular job becomes mundane or it's repetitive or it's talking about the same sort of thing, I get bored. So the fact that I'm able to be in an industry that has so many facets that if I get, I get tired of one area, I can go to a different area. Like if I get tired of a destination, I can go to a different destination. If I get tired of this type of customer, I can pick a whole different type of customer and still stay in the business and still make quite a bit of money doing it, right? So that was my number two reason, is that it's fun and it's boring. It's not boring, and there's always something new to do, and there's always something different that I haven't done just on the travel agency side. Okay. Number three is I'm my own boss. You're your own boss, right? And so that's actually a positive and a negative, right? So when I think about being my own boss, everybody's always, I call myself the online travel boss. I consider myself a boss. What do I mean by boss? Somebody who's able to make decisions, somebody who's able to make decisions and has the responsibilities, right? So not only do I get to make the money, I get to make the decisions. But the bad side of that, or the negative sometimes side of that, is that you are you are your own boss, right? So you take on all the risk, you take on all of the responsibility of others if you have employees or whatever. And so if you're not properly prepared for that, or if you're not properly positioned for that, it can be overwhelming to be the boss. It can be scary to be the boss, but ultimately you are the boss, right? So I get to make my own hours. So the positive of that is I get to make my own hours. I get to make my own schedule. I was talking to my assistant last month, and I told her, I said, remember, we do not work the last 2 weeks of the year, right? And so we need to make sure that we have structured Q4 such that we are done by December 1st, right? I really like to be off the entire month of December in terms of, building new content for the business or whatever, right? I get to make that decision. Not only do I get to make that decision, I get to pass that down to the people that work with me and around me, right? So I don't go live, I don't launch any programs, I don't do anything in the last month of the year, and that's by choice, right? As the boss, you get to do that. So that's my number three, is you get to be the boss, you get to make the decisions, you get to take the risk, you get to make the money, you get to do all of the things and define your business the way that you want to. I love that part of the business. But again, all I would say on that is that you got to position yourself to be prepared for that, right? So being the boss just by words and not by action is just going to set you up for failure. So you want to be able to structure yourself so that you're not overworking yourself, right? Because bosses do that, right? If you don't have the right support system, if you're not prepared to make the right decisions, sometimes it's difficult decisions like letting people go, letting clients go, whatever decisions you have to make as the boss, you got to make them because you're the boss. All right, number four is freedom, right? So again, if you don't know me, my story is I never really thought of myself as an entrepreneur. My husband is the entrepreneurial person in our life. Well, he was until I got the bug. And so 2006 is when we did our first jump. We jumped into, we opened up a barber shop, and I became an entrepreneur with him, small business owner, in 2006. And I still worked a full-time job, and I didn't do it full time. And I'm going to tell you, it was still the scariest thing. Every time I look back of what we did in 2006, I just think, what the hell were we thinking, right? There was a little bit of craziness about that. But at that time in 2006, I had just had our second child. And 2 years later, less than 2 years later, actually what happened was less than 2 years later, I got pregnant. and our third child would have been 12 months apart, but I miscarried and then got pregnant right away again. So our third child is 18 months apart from the second child. So anyway, we had kids, two more children back to back, and then we had an older child. And freedom of having our own business allowed my experience with my second and third child to be dramatically different than our first child, right? My first child was in daycare from the age of 6 weeks on and was, in daycare. I was sick all the time. She was sick all the time. Everybody was sick all the time. But having my own business allowed us a sense of freedom in my schedule, with my husband's schedule. Even though I worked a full-time job while we had the barbershop, my husband was able to, for I would say up until the boys were in school, we had a nanny. And then he had the freedom to be able to go and take care of the boys in a way that I didn't because I was working for somebody. So when I subsequently left corporate and it was just us both having our own business, we had the freedom to set our schedule. Now, I will tell you the same thing it is about being your own boss, right? That freedom has a sense of responsibility to it, right? What will happen with most entrepreneurs and small business owners is that they work themselves around the clock. They don't schedule the time off because they're trying to wear too many hats. They're trying to do too many things. And I will tell you, I'm a bit of a workaholic, and that is what I found myself working myself to the bone harder than I was working when I was working for somebody else. So freedom is my number 4, but I will caution you that you really need to create a structure in your business that allows you to take time off and to create balance in your professional life, even though it's your own entrepreneur business, and your personal life, because what can happen very easily is that the two of them blend and that you find yourself working too much. And so, I'll have to tell you the story later on, but my journey is I got super sick and I had to let a lot of it go because I was working too much and I didn't schedule the downtime. I wasn't taking care of myself. But anyway, freedom is my number 4 because, when you're an entrepreneur, you get to define how much you work or how little you work. And I would just recommend, if you're anything, do not overwork yourself because it's very easy to do. But freedom does allow you to have more time with your children, allow to have more time with your friends and family, create the own kind of schedule that you want. My goal, I have not reached this yet, but my goal is to be on a 3-day work week. I used to work 7 days a week. I am now down to 5 days. I'm back up to 6, but I'm back. My goal is, I just talked to my assistant about this today, that I need to get back down to 5, but to be on a 3-day work week, that we've got systems in place where I am working 3 days a week and I'm off 4 days, doing whatever the things that I like to do, which is travel. One of them is traveling, and doing more lives, not behind these lights in my office, but behind, out there on the streets and doing traveling, which is what we'll be doing a lot more this fall as well. So the month of December, we'll be somewhere doing a live, but it will not be in my house is my goal. All right. Number 5 reason that being a travel agent and having a travel business and even your own business is the bomb diggity, right? That just kind of dates me, right? The bomb. So if you are joining live, please announce so that I can see you, so that you can get the opportunity to get the Las Vegas vacation voucher. Just say hello, let me know that you're there, and then I will tag you after this live and let you know all about what you've got to do to be able to claim that. Number 5, equally as important as all the other 4, is financial freedom, right? You can make great money if you position yourself in a job working 9 to 5. You can make good money, right? So depending on whose job it is, you can make good money. I'm not saying that you can't make money, but your ability to make buttloads of money, let me just say that, or define how much money you want to make is like no other when you're an entrepreneur. You can define your path financially being an entrepreneur, unlike you can do when you're working for somebody else, right? You are dictated by whatever salary that they give you. If you make bonuses, how much bonus they're going to give you based on whatever the parameters are of the bonus. If you are an entrepreneur and you have a business that has a sound foundation, you get to define how much money you will make, right? That's largely depending on your marketing, your messaging, and the products that you offer, right? So being able to create a financial future for your family is like no other when you're an entrepreneur. So that's my number five, financial security, being able to create not only a financial security for yourself, but for your family as well. And so there's a couple of things I want to talk a little bit about when it comes to finances, right? Talking to a lady yesterday, and she was like, I just want to do the travel business and I just want to do it part time, right? That in and of itself, the ability to create a second stream of income for yourself, you can do that in the travel business with a few hours a week, right? If you don't want to create this huge agency that's got, 10 sub agents underneath it, you don't have to, right? You can be a one person show. I still recommend that you do get help because, to be successful, you do need to do content. You need to show up to your people. You need to create a whole bunch of marketing things that I'll talk to you about in a few, but you do need to have a support system. But you don't have to be a huge agency to create a second stream of income. You don't have to be a huge agency to have your agency replace your full-time income. But you do have to have a system in place. You do have to have processes in place. You do have to have the marketing strategy in place, right, in order to do that. But you can create that in this business, right? And not with I went to college for 5 years. It took me 5 years to get out of college. I graduated really young, so I played a little bit. So it took me 5 years to get out of college. I have a degree in accounting. I am a certified project manager, so I do, I'm certified, so what all that means and all the education that it means, right? I have, over 20 years of experience launching businesses, marketing with businesses, and all of that. And so with all of that experience that I have, I did a lot of schooling, did a lot of on-the-job experience with that, right? But being a travel agent, you don't necessarily need to go to school to do this, right? You do need education, but we'll talk about what kind of education you need. You don't need to get a degree in travel to be a travel agent, and to be a damn good one, you don't have to be that, right? It doesn't cost you as much as it costs to go to a 4-year university, right? But you can still make six figures, right? My turning point for my six figures in my corporate job is when I became a certified project manager, right? Your turning point when you become a six-figure travel agency is not going to be, and it took me, I had to get that certification. I had to take an exam. I had to be working in my field for 3 to 5 years, I think it was. And then I had to have a certain amount of hours to do that, right? And that was a turning point when I became a six-figure wage earner for somebody else. You don't have to do that in this business, right? You just have to know how to market your business, and you have to create a foundation for your business that's going to set you up for six figures, right? So it took me, I was pregnant with my second child, so 2005, when I became a certified project manager. I remember taking the exam while I was pregnant, took the prep course while I was pregnant. That course alone was $1,500. So I invested $1,500 to take a prep course to become certified so that I could then become six figures working for somebody else, right? So what I'm saying, you don't even have to do that in order to make six figures in your travel agency, right? So when I say financial security and financial freedom, I'm talking from experience, right? For me to make six figures in my corporate job took me several years, took me education, took me, additional training outside of college experience, and then I had to sit for an exam. And then I had to leave that job to get another job that recognized, right? So there was a whole bunch of steps to be able to do that. Whereas you can create your own business and have it generate six figures for you without all that extra stuff that I did, right? So that's what my number five is. All right, so let me repeat what my 5 reasons were. One is travel. I get to travel. Not only do I get to travel, I get to travel as an insider, as a travel professional. I get to meet people, and I get to not only meet people, I also get to bring experiences to people. So that is my number one, because I'm a people person and I love to travel. So I get to put the two of those together. Number 2, it's fun and it's not boring. Number 3, I'm my own boss, the good and the ugly of being my own boss. Number 4 is I get freedom, good and bad with that freedom, right? So I've got to create a balance balance between my work and my family, something that I continue to work on as I, become a recovering workaholic. And then number 5, financial freedom, right? Those are my 5 reasons why the travel industry is an amazing industry to be in, right? I tell you, this is the right industry for you if you love travel, you love helping people. If you don't like travel and you don't like helping people, you know what? Turn off the live and probably go do something else, right? But if you are like your travel planner for your friends and family and you're already doing it and you're not doing it from the inside, you probably ought to become a travel agent. It's so super easy to do. So let's talk about how easy it is to do, right? You have 2 options when it becomes becoming a travel agent. You can start a travel agent. You can start and get all the credentials from scratch yourself. You can get your CLIA yourself. You can get your ARC number yourself. Those are really the 2 biggest credentials that you want to have. You can do all of that. You can do it from scratch. You can invest the dollars and the education it requires to do it from scratch, right? Or you could do simple, you could partner with a host agency. I'm not going to recommend and tell you, this. I do have a recommendation that I give my students for based on me talking to them and what their needs are. But a host agency is the easiest way to do this. And all that you do is, depending on the host agency you go with, is they're going to either have a setup fee. Some host agencies have a setup fee anywhere from $200 all the way to 0 setup fee, and then you pay a monthly fee. So what is a host agency? A host agency extends their credentials to you so that you can book travel under their credentials, right? So you're going to be booking travel underneath their CLIA number or their ARC number, and all that means is that instead of you acquiring those numbers yourself, you're going to be using them. They will take a percentage of whatever the commission split is. So let's say you are booking a cruise and that cruise is paying 16%. Your host agency takes 30% and they give you 70%, or they take 20% and they give you 80%, right? So that is the fee for you getting their credentials and getting the credentials like instantaneously. Host agency is the way that I decided to go, right? I'm, highly educated, gone all that route. Did not want to go. I was new in the industry and I did not want to invest those dollars there immediately. So that's what I've done. I partnered with the host agency. I paid my setup fee. I pay my monthly fee. And then I am now a superpower travel agent, right? I have the ARC number and the CLIA number of some host agencies do it. Easy process. It takes less than 5 minutes. If it's going to take you more than 5 minutes to partner with the host agency or with the wrong host agency. Pros with being with the host agency are simple. Pros, you instantaneously get access to booking travel. That's number 1. Another pro is that you don't have to build the travel supplier relationships. A good host agency will have all of those relationships already established, meaning you don't have to go and negotiate with Royal Caribbean Cruise Line to determine what your percentage rate is and get in contract with them. They already have a rate that's established. The volume that they're doing is probably so great with that host agency that you're getting the maximum amount of commission available. The cons with partnering with the host is that you do have to split your commission. If you're with a good host agency, that commission split is more like an 80-20, where they're getting 20% and you're getting 80%, right? Most of the host agencies have a threshold. Hey, TT. Most of them have a threshold where if you make a certain amount of commissions in a year, they'll bump up your commission, your split of the commission, right? Another con of a host agency versus doing it yourself is that they, some of the host agencies, depending on which host you go with, will make it seem like you should brand yourself or you should market yourself underneath them. And I totally disagree with that, right? So what does that mean? Meaning if you partner with the host and they're more interested in how you are marketing your personal business instead of just, standing by, collecting their commission and making sure that they've got, all the relationships and they're providing you the back end support, that's probably not the best host agency for you. Another con is that Most of the host agencies, at least, and again, I don't know all of the host agencies that are out there, right? There's hundreds of them. A lot of travel agencies have allowed the ability for themselves to become a host because that is not very difficult to do as well. They pay the fees, they extend the credentials, they create the legal ability for them to do that. That's not difficult. So there's hundreds of host agencies out there. So I cannot begin to tell you that I know everything about every host agency that there is, but I will tell you with some of the host agencies that I've interacted, one of the cons is that they give you access to all of these tools, but don't give you training. And so that can be a con, right? There is a difference. So another con is there is a difference when some people are recruited into host agencies. There is a difference between being a travel agent and being a travel business owner. And so that's kind of what I want to make sure I'm very clear about is that being a business owner means that you are responsible for your business. You are responsible for acquiring your own clients, marketing, branding, creating an identity for yourself, a vision. You are clear about that direction. A host agency does not give that to you, right? It's up to you to develop that yourself, right? And just because you become a travel agent doesn't mean that you instantly are a business owner. What it means is that you instantly have the superpower of a travel agent, but you do not instantly have a business. And so that's what I want to talk to you about on the flip side of this live, which is becoming a travel agent is a 5-minute thing. I don't want you guys to feel like, it's going to take me weeks and years to become a travel agent. Literally, if you partner with the right host agency, it is signing some paperwork. Most of them, if they're good at it and they're key on technology, all you have to do is click a button, pay a fee, and on autopilot they send you an email with access to your credentials, access to every travel supplier on the planet, and you're a travel agent. Boom, that's it, right? Probably buttloads of videos for you to watch and checklists for you to go through and all sorts of things for you to figure out, and you're a travel agent. So the travel agent superpower acquisition is so easy. It is not a difficult thing to acquire. 5 minutes. All right. So now that you know that becoming a travel agent is not a big deal and is not a difficult thing if you decide to partner with somebody, right? If you decide, I want you to think of a host agency as a fee, right? It's a cost of doing business. Just like I used to be in the salon business in the beauty industry. My husband and I still own a barbershop, but I always say when I would go to the supply store, they would provide me supplies, right? I would buy professional products from professional vendors. Sorry, there's a bug that flew at me. I would buy, let's say I was buying hair extensions. I'd buy hair extensions from that vendor and I would then sell them to my clients, right? Think of your host agency just like that. Their job is to provide you the ability to sell travel and the connections and the relationships with travel suppliers. That is their job. End of story. Your job is not to promote them. It's to promote your own business, right? They are a supplier to you. They give you access to travel product, and you sell that travel product to your customer. Your customer does not need to know that you're a part of a host agency. They don't need to know that. That's none of their business. Your job is to sell travel to your customers. How you facilitate that, that's all in the back end. That is your operational way of doing business, right? So think of a host agency as a cost of doing business. It's tax deductible. It's an expense. It's an expense that I incur because I don't want to have additional expenses associated with doing it myself, right? That's all you need to think of as a host, right? So now, hopefully I've laid that to rest. If you have any questions, please reach out while you're online and let me know. Now, what is the difference between having a business and having the superpower, right? Having a business is those things that I said, which is you have a distinct brand. When somebody looks at my sugar travel company as I build that brand up, what is it that they see? What is the vision that I have for my company, right? What is the niche that I serve? Who is my customer? What is the brand? The vision for my customer that I see, that I deliver through the services that I give them. What is my marketing strategy? How will I attract strangers to my business and ultimately convert them into travel customers of mine, right? What is the process by which I do business, right? What is the structure that Uncle Sam recognizes me under? All of those things are what make you a business owner. And so I want to make sure that you distinguish between the two. And this is where a process, if you don't know how to do these things, this is where a process is going to help you do that. I am from the Dallas area. So hi, Mabruk, nice to have you on. So having a business requires that you have those foundational items. So let's just talk about what those foundational items are, right? For a viable travel business, first, having a travel niche. Critical, important, and if you want to be a generalist, I don't recommend you being a generalist in the travel industry because there is so much to travel. You're going to spin your wheels trying to figure out all that there is to travel, and trying to be everything to everyone is a waste of your time, it's a waste of your money, and it's a waste of your effort, right? So defining a niche is your number one. Number two is defining a business structure that is, you have no idea. Okay, so Stephanie, this is where we're talking about. These four things that I'm about to reveal to you is kind of where you begin. And so we'll talk about how the next steps are in just a minute. So Stephanie, just hang on. Defining a business structure, right? So, you're not legal if Uncle Sam says you're not legal, right? You don't want to start a business and do this, make lots of money. You're making all these great commissions, you're booking travel, and Uncle Sam comes knocking on your door saying, where's my money, right? Where's my money? And you've not positioned yourself as a business to, one, protect your assets, two, I am not about not paying taxes. I'm about reducing my tax expense to as much as possible, right? I do that through an accountant, but that all is about the way that you're legally structured, right? That's the number two. Number three, what is your brand, right? What is the vision of your business? Who are you? Who are your customers? What is it that you intend to deliver to them, and how will you uniquely do that? And then four, marketing. I will tell you, if you listen to any lives that I do from here on out, you will always hear me throughout that live say one thing, that your number one job as a business owner is to market your business. And most business owners who are starting off don't know the first thing about marketing their business. They have no idea what marketing is. They think that marketing is just merely posting on your Facebook page or on your Facebook page. And that's it. That's all that marketing is. And it is so much more than that, right? So really having a marketing strategy that is designed to attract more than just your friends and family. Because frankly, if you want to be six figures, you're going to need to attract more than just your friends and family. I love my friends and family, but they're not what make me six figures, right? It's my ability to attract strangers at a volume who I can service and provide my travel services to, or my coaching services to, right? That is what's going to make you successful. All right, so that's the process, right, of being a travelpreneur, is being able to do those four things successfully and do them well enough that you're able to get repeat customers. Sorry. So I'm stopping. I'm reading this person's response. So yes, I do have my business. So you'll have to watch the replay at the beginning because I just spent the last several minutes talking all about the businesses that I've started and the business that we are. So, okay. So that's the process, right? So let me talk to you now, Stephanie. I'm talking to you because you put it here. You would love to do this. You want to be a travelpreneur, but you don't know where to begin. All right. So we are starting September 9th. We are starting our next program start date for Business Foundations, where we are going to dig deep in those four areas of being a travelpreneur, right? You are going to partner either with the recommended host agency that I recommend or one of your choosing. And then we are going to launch your business in 8 weeks, right? So in 60 days, my goal for you in 60 days is not only have you launched your travel agency, but that you've got your first paying client, you've got your first travel package defined, and you've got people on your email list so so that you can start to market to them, right? That program starts September 9th, which is in a week and a half. It's not this upcoming Sunday, it's the following Sunday. So we're almost, I think, a little less than 2 weeks away from the start date of Business Foundations, September 9th starting. It's an 8-week program. 4 areas that we talked about, which is we're going to talk about your travel niche. We're going to talk about your business structure. We're going to determine what your brand is and ensure that you start to develop a brand that is clearly aligned to what your niche is going to be. And then we talk about how to market your travel agency and how to get you started. All right. So if you would like to join, we have actually, I just forgot. I was just about to sign off and tell you goodbye, but let me just give you one more little bit. I'm going to put the link to we're just opened up the cart today. So we have a VIP special that is going to end this Sunday. So the VIP pricing is going to end this Sunday. I've got 2 VIP bonuses. There's a reduced pricing through the Sunday. And for those who join, and Marie, you were on, you joined actually before I even announced. For those who join, your second bonus for VIP is you get to choose from one of 5 Mexico resort 5-day stays, and you get to choose that, and that is going to be your second bonus. So not only do you get to have reduced pricing, you also get to have the one of 5 Mexico choices. All right, so then that is Business Foundation. So we start on the 9th. We start in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. If you are interested, Stephanie, or anybody else who watches this, I'm going to leave the link to this in this live, and I hope to have you there. We just finished up our last round of Business Foundations. I think we had 3 students finish up through that, and we've got several other students who have finished up. And I think that the feedback that I'm getting from the students is that, you know, it is a step-by-step guide for them. It does give them and will give you the opportunity to clearly understand how you start your travel business, right? How do you not get overwhelmed by all the plethora of information that's out there, and really how to take that superpower that you get from your host agency and how to make that into a business. Not only when you get to Business Foundations, you get those 4 modules, you also get a bonus training called Booking Bootcamp, where that is a part of the program. You get that additionally for free, where I'm going to guide you on how to book general travel, which sites to go to, who you should register with so that you can ensure that you're booking general travel, not only general travel, but your niche travel too that you decide on. All right, I hope that you've enjoyed this live. Let me know if you did. Give me some hearts. I always love to have hearts. And if you have any questions, I always ask you to just, hit me up in direct messenger. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll leave you the link to get to my DM directly. I hope that you enjoyed this live. And if you have any questions about being a travel agent, or if you have any questions at all about what it takes to launch a successful business, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Tanya TT is one of our students of Business Foundation, so you could reach out to her if you have any questions, but hopefully she could also tell you what a great experience it has been for her. I am super excited to be launching this class. We are only doing this 3 more times this year. And then, like I said, actually we're only doing it 2 more times this year, because the 3rd launch that we're doing is the beginning of the year. But this is one of 2 left for the 2018. And so if you don't get it in this class, you're going to have one more opportunity before I'm done for 2018. And then you're going to have to wait till 2019. But why not start now so that you can get your packages and ready for the Christmas holiday and join in on the Christmas spend that people will be having. Enjoy now the Christmas. This is what my brick person is. You're sort of distracting me because I don't really think that you're on to talk about the travel business. So let me kind of push that away. This class is a great class because if you really want to have your business up and running before the end of the year, this class is to do that, right? Because we will be done right before The fourth quarter holiday season is kicked in, and you can be a part of that frenzy, right? And I always say, people want to spend money in the fourth quarter. Why not spend it on your travel packages? All right. So this is Sunday out. If you have any questions, do not feel free. I'm like, do not feel free. Feel free to ping me or send me a message, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.